LA in 4 years. You'll have LeBron, who may not be in the league anymore. Who knows the level that Steph and KD will be at. Maybe they'll still play. Maybe they won't be. Like, who really knows? It's hard to predict. The bottom line is they'll be 4 years older. Even Embiid will be 34 at that point. A 7'2" guy, 300 pounds with 4 more years of miles and potential injuries on his body, right? So those are 4 of the key guys already before even getting to some of the younger guys. Devin Booker, I thought, was sensational in this tournament, playing a lesser role. The way he's perceived, I think, has changed from a lot of people who had been soured on him in the past. They saw a new version of him, the toughness, the grit on defense, the ability to play a role on offense, a lesser role. Anthony Edwards up and down. Tatum was obviously a disaster. He could not hit any jumpers. He wasn't hitting jumpers well for the Celtics in the playoffs either, or the final month of the season. That's a different conversation for Boston. But the younger guys on Team USA were not great in this tournament, aside from Devin Booker. Do you worry about Team USA in 2028 with their ability to actually take home gold again?
No. I don't. I mean, I think you never know what these guys are going to look like in 4 years. And I'm talking about the young players in the league. I mean, I think you could look up and you've got Ja Morant and you've got Paolo Banchero and you've got, I think you're Chet Holmgren, and I think you're going to have great players.
Those guys are still going to be young, though. All those guys. I mean, you can mention even some of the guys coming into the next year's draft in 25, Cooper Flagg or Dabansa in 26, but those guys will still just be babies when it's the 2028 Olympics. They're probably more relevant for the 2032 Olympics. I think 28 is really the window for some of these other teams to go get gold, because that feels like one of those transitional years for Team USA, whereas 24 feels like it was kind of the closing of an era, and 28 feels like it's the opening of a new chapter. Who knows what the team will look like? You're right. Some of those guys could blossom into megastars and they just plow through the entire world. Jokic is going to be four more years older. Serbia might not be as much of a threat at that point. Who really knows? Maybe Nolan Traore doesn't work out at point guard for France and they're still struggling with perimeter creation, and Victor Wembanyama needs to do everything for France, and that they become a team that's competing for silver or bronze, or maybe they don't even medal. So who knows? Team USA will still have the most depth of talent, but we don't know like the high end level of that talent.
No, they need their, and this is one of the things that we have talked about. And this is where Edwards kind of grabbed the bull by the horns in terms of who's the American guy that people can latch onto. Everybody thought it was going to be Morant, and it was for a time. I mean, he played no games last year and still had one of the top selling jerseys and sold about 5 billion pairs of shoes, even though he wasn't even playing. So if he can get his career back on track after missing a year and a half,
he's a candidate.
And then you have Paolo, and then you have, what if Zion gets it together? You know? And then you've got Morant and Edwards and Zion. These are all the guys we talked about as like the next American guy that can really take hold, and Paolo and Chet. And
what if Cade Cunningham? What if Cade continues, like he made some progress last year for a crappy Pistons team. What if he gets better? Devin Booker is, I think Booker
he'll be right in his prime.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously Jason Tatum, it was a terrible Olympics for him. He was horrible. He was benched at times. He could not shoot when he was on the floor. But Tatum is a better player than he showed in the Olympics, and in 4 years, he'll still be in prime years. So I think for Team USA, they still should be favored in 28. But, at the same time, like Anthony Edwards said it, you need some of those old heads on your team. There's not going to be a lot of them in all likelihood at that point, unless it's like an Embiid at 34, 80 at 35. And who knows what a big man will look like at that stage of their career.
It's interesting you're saying this, because I think people can look back and they could say that was kind of the deal with when it went down a little bit. When the embarrassment took place in 2004, and then everything changed after that. We were no longer in that Jordan, Magic Bird, like all those guys era anymore. And so it was kind of a transition. That wasn't like some incredibly old head, veteran laden team. And this one is going to be very, very special. And, I never want to be prisoner of the moment, but I don't think I'm going to forget this.
No, I don't
I really
either.
don't. I certainly will not forget that Curry explosion at the end of that game.
No,
and
sensational.
Putting the whole country on his back. That was crazy.
And also like some of the photographs from the game. Like I think the shot Steph hit over Victor Wembanyama with Victor sprawling through the air, all 8 feet of his wingspan, and Steph kind of fading away. That picture's amazing. And then obviously with 2 defenders just all over Stephen Curry hitting that 4-3 in the fourth quarter clutch. That's like a visual that I don't think I'll ever forget. I hope I never forget it. I mean, something went wrong with my memory, with my brain, if I forget that.
You know what? And you may look up and like some of the, not the 35-year-old veterans, but like we might look up and it's the Jalen Brunsons and the Donovan Mitchells and those guys of the world, right? Like it's their crack at it. It's their crack at it. Like, so I'm not worried.
Could be Jaylen Brown.
Hey, what I'm saying is I'm not worried. What I am saying is you're going to need to get more reps because you don't have that. You're not going to have Curry, LeBron, and Durant and Embiid. And so, like, you're going to have to get more reps with whatever team you are going to assemble for 4 years down the road, rather than you can throw it together when it's this group. I do not think you could throw it together if it's not.
Yeah, especially if France continues getting even better, or maybe Spain has a resurgence at one point in the years to come.